Hey, this is Meredith Elliott Powell. You know what time it is. Well, we're doing it at a different time this week. It's 2:30, Friday afternoon. What a way to end the day. Welcome to Thrive, the show where we dive into the strategies, discuss the steps, everything that you need to know to turn all of this uncertainty into your greatest competitive advantage. And today, I've got a great show for you because we're going to talk to you not only about what you need to know to be mentally fit in today's marketplace, but how you can take advantage of just an incredible opportunity. I've got the founder of the Breakfast Leaders Forum here today. And in just a moment, we're going to dive into that conversation. All right. Once again, I am Meredith Elliott Powell. Welcome back to Thrive. And I want to welcome to the show Hillary Fetter, the founder of the Breakfast Leaders Forum. Welcome, Hillary.
Thank you, Meredith. It's great to be here with you.
Well, you are so much more. I want to talk about the Breakfast Leaders Forum, but tell our audience a little bit about you, your background, what you do, but how you came up with this idea.
Well, a little bit about my background. I have been a business owner for 35 years, and my company, we work to help the companies that we serve make the people that matter to them feel like they matter. We help them build strategies and programs around people-centric practices and believe deeply that people are their most important asset. Coming out of the Great Recession, myself and two other business leaders saw a real need for smaller and middle market companies to figure out how to gather, come together, learn, grow, try to repair all the feelings from the Great Recession. And we founded the Business Leaders Breakfast Forum. We ran that program until COVID, and we were shut down in March of 2020. And in that interim, the three of us agreed that it was really an in-person program. We weren't going to take this on any digital platform. And when the pandemic subsided, one of my co-sponsors had been acquired. Another of my co-sponsors had retired. And that left me as the sole person. And it took a couple of years to find the right sponsorship base to rebuild this program and bring it back to life. And we did. And it's been received beautifully. It is a great way to bring community together, learn together, and connect.
So let me ask you this, because I tell you, I have been amazed that the more high tech our world becomes, the more need there is for human connection. As we were talking about before we came on this podcast, that I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and when the big storm hit us, we lost internet and we lost phone, we lost power and water. But I got to tell you, being without your internet and your phone was really very different. And at the end of
Mhm.
the day, it was the community and the relationships that you build that made all the difference in those first couple of days. But when you after the Great Recession, and I assume you were talking about 2008, is that correct?
Yep.
Which, it's so funny because when we think about 2008 now, compared to the uncertainty and things we go through now, it just doesn't even seem that devastating.
No.
Geez.
Right.
But what were the things that you saw? What was the value that you saw in getting together in person and building community and not taking something like this online?
Well, that was it. I mean, myself and the two other sponsors, unlike other programs like this, we literally stood at the entrance to the room, and we were all people connectors. And we made sure when somebody walked in and they were, I'll call it a foreign face, somebody who hadn't been there before, we really worked hard to introduce them to somebody that we knew would take them under their wing so nobody was standing in a corner alone, and really help them build relationships and build community. Over time, we found people started doing business with each other. People found ways to create meaningful introductions for each other, which was one of the reasons we did not take this online. And to your point, in the pandemic, there was a very short window where my business went totally silent. And I was like, wow, I can't redo 2008. And within 2 weeks of the stay at home orders, um, all of a sudden my phone rang, and it was from someone who I had known in the community, but not actually done work with. And she said to me, "We sent our employees home 2.5 weeks ago. And do you know what they've done?" And she reeled off everything that everybody was doing, figuring out how to work with limited bandwidth in your home and manage your children who are now trying to do school through Zoom. And you're working at home and all of that. And she said, "We need to find a way to acknowledge the work and the efforts they're going through." And we helped them come up with a package that we could send to their home that would engage their family into doing something fun as a distraction. And when she reported how amazing that had been received from her employees, I turned around and started really positioning that thinking with all of my current clients. And it was an amazing way for my company to get through the pandemic. And we actually thrived through the pandemic and grew. And I had people asking us, it took a little bit to be able to reformat this program without my other sponsors and find the right partners. And today I believe this program is poised to thrive, in part because of people like you who are open to really coming and serving, and creating value at a networking program and at a learning program.
So tell us what happens at the forum. I mean, how do you structure it? What does the it's held in the morning, and this year
Yep,
it's the one we've got coming up is October 31st. Tell us all the
correct.
details.
So it's October 31st. It's at the Center for the Arts in Hopkins, which is a beautiful theater facility, which gives us really great audio and video. So our speakers have an amazing platform to speak from. And our main audience is middle market size organizations across all disciplines, from financial services to manufacturing to tech. And we've really worked to make the programs broad enough that whether you're the senior leader, CEO, you're a middle manager, you're an individual contributor, there is something there for everybody in every one of these programs that we're putting on. Arrival, there's a period to both nosh on breakfast snacks and network. We all will go into the theater, and Meredith will present for about 90 minutes. We'll have time for a nice amount of Q&A, and then we'll be doing a book signing following. And I have invited everybody that's attending to think about staying in Hopkins for lunch. There are a lot of independent business owners, restaurants in Hopkins, and take the team that you brought with you and go break bread together.
Nice. It's interesting that you're saying this week I've had a couple of opportunities to work with some clients, and with both clients, I ended up having dinner with them. And you get caught up and you think, I just want to go back to my hotel room and I want to work or
Right.
I want to do something like that. And I thought, how much more connected I was to those clients because I had spent time in conversation that had nothing to do with business, that had nothing to do with, the project we were doing that day, but just taking that time to build that relationship. And from that, I'm sure I'm going to see a lot more work. Since you have brought this back, I know that you did one session with Sam Richter and Victor Antonio where you
Yep.
covered AI and IT and just really what the future landscape. But I'm going to be your speaker on October 31st.
Yes.
Super excited, and we're going to talk about mentally fit, getting the team really. Really fit for the changing environment that we're living in today. What attracted you to that subject, and why did you think that would be of value to your audience?
So I'm a very thoughtful and analytical person, and following the presentation from Sam and Victor, I connected with all of our sponsors, and to kind of do a download on how that went, and then actually ask them, what are your biggest pain points inside your companies? And I have an entire laundry list of things that they shared with me. And then, since I'm the lead presenter on this, I went to my key clients, and all of which who attended, and asked them the same question. And over, in one way, shape, or form, it was about, our team is burned out. We don't know how to do this hybrid, remote. it's stressing us out. And then if you just look in the generalized landscape of what's going on, whether it's globally with wars in different parts of the world or domestically, and you look at, I've listened to so many of my clients say, we just can't wait till the election's over. We just need more certainty. And any of those things, or you look at the violence that's happening, people are just, they're worn down, they're tired, residual from the pandemic. You call it whatever you want. And I I believe in trying to figure out how to help lift people up. If I'm going to bring a subject to you, I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be intentional. I want you to walk away thinking this was a good investment of my time.
Yeah, I can't agree more because people are next to their children and their money. There's nothing they could give you more precious than their
Right.
time. It's interesting because we came about this subject really with the same path. So when back in 2016, when the economy was good and nobody ever thought that what's the future has ended
Right.
up holding, I started researching uncertainty because, like you, I pick all my topics by talking to my clients and saying, what's going on? What are you feeling? What are you worried about? And everybody was worried about uncertainty, even though we didn't know COVID was coming. We didn't know any of those things. And that's when I wrote the book, Thrive, Turning Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage. But when I finished that book, everybody said, we understand as leaders how to run our businesses, but I need you to help our employees. And that's why I
Hmm.
wrote Mentally Fit, Powerfully Resilient, and Competitively Strong. And, the very fact that people are burned out today, it's actually understandable. The pace of change has increased 185% in the last 6 years and 33% in just the last year. That means change is coming at you in rapid, rapid speed, faster than we have ever known it to come before. And
Hmm.
so the challenge and what we're going to really dive into in this presentation is, as a leader, you have to prepare and train and develop your team to perform in a very different atmosphere and environment than they have ever performed in before. I think this is one of the most crucial subjects that companies need to be paying attention to, because just keeping up with the pace of change at an executive
Hmm.
level is not enough. You need
Hmm.
every member of the team in shape, excited, and motivated, not only to accept change, but to actually start to drive change in the
Hmm.
organization. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts that you're going to gain from this presentation, is that we're not only going to talk about how the world is changing, you are literally going to walk out of there with a tool set armed with exactly the strategy of how you need to lead in today's world, so that people not only are dealing better with the change, but they're excited and motivated. And if you can get your team excited and motivated, you are going to be the company that wins. Hillary, I can't do anything about the pace of change. I can't slow it down. I can't make it whatever. But what I found was I could do, based on research, was give you the tools to thrive in it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I am so looking forward to, because you are correct. I mean, change, it it feels like a tornado. It's just getting faster and faster and faster. And um, I don't think we as humans are have been programmed
we're
to
not.
work in that way. So figuring out how to manage and feel healthy, right? Because I listened to a banking executive over breakfast one day, which is one of the reasons why they jumped on sponsorship immediately. She said, I started today at 8, and she listed off every single meeting, and some were in person and some were Zoom, and the amount of transit time that she did or didn't have between these meetings, and then trying to actually get her other work done that wasn't face-to-face meetings. And at the end of the day, 4:30, 5 o'clock, going, oh my goodness, now I need to walk home into my two, I think she's got like middle school age kids and
Yeah.
husband, and be present, make sure that I'm interested in their day, and listening to them, and prepare and eat a meal together. That takes energy that I literally don't have at the end of the day. And That's terrible. Like, we all need to be able to do that. You want to engage with your family as much as you need to engage when you're at work.
Right, exactly. And I think that I think we have not been built to take on the pace of change. In fact, the research shows that we're built when the pace of change increases to hold on more tightly to try to stop the pace of change. So imagine you're a business owner, you're a leader, and you've embraced the fact that you have to change. You know, if you don't change, you're not going to be here because that's the truth. I mean, I'm a strategic
Hmm.
thinker by training. And when I started doing strategic plans, we were told to update a strategic plan every 5 years. Now we
Hmm.
update a strategic plan every 3 months. That's how fast strategic plans go out of date. And so if you're not helping your team understand how to thrive in an environment like that, they're not going to come on board with you. And what is going to happen is that they're going to leave or they're going to check out and they're going to stay. And either way, your business is going to be holding a very big expense that isn't producing at the level you need to. And it doesn't have to be, it really doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, if you don't, as an organization, start driving change, I think I forget the statistic now, but I know it by the time we speak in Minnesota. I'll look it up. But the number of Fortune 500 companies that are not expected to be here sometime in the next 8 to 10 years, if they don't shift how they're thinking about integrating change into their organization.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I actually was working yesterday with one of our clients that were working on a fairly large employee engagement initiative, and the number of people where I was doing one-to-one interview segments with them, and in an effort to be able to put together a composite report for the leader that hired me, and the number of people that talked about the level of disorganization inside the company, the amount of overwork that they have. And when I asked them, well, why are you still here? And the answer was, well, it's been comfortable. And I'm like, well, you planning to stay? And most of them wouldn't even answer me. So, I mean, attrition costs a company money. So you need to figure this out to create an environment where people want to be and the work experience matters to them. They will thrive. And if you thrive at work, and then you can figure out how to take that toolkit that you're going to provide us and then even figure out how to make it work at home. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
um, universalness to being able to use it. um, you'll just be a much happier person.
Well, I mean, I love the fact that you said it's going to be universal because it is. I mean, the when I wrote the book Thrive, which was the first book, which was the strategy on how to grow your business in the face of uncertainty, I finished the book. I had it all set to send to my publisher, and then it occurred to me that the Great Depression did not end at 5 o'clock. That these people still went home and dealt with all this uncertainty in
Right.
personal lives, and that's really what led to Mentally Fit. Because I think what leaders need to understand today is you may be looking at people and saying you've got to handle this change at work, but you've got to understand they're handling just as much change at home. And
Hmm.
so they're exhausted before they ever come through the door. And if you don't learn to lead them in a different manner, then you're going to burn them out. They're going to quit, or they're not going to be as productive as they need to. The other is the reason I say that uncertainty is a competitive advantage is because I really, Hillary, feel very sorry for anybody who isn't coming to this breakfast because I feel like what we're doing is giving you the golden key to growth. Because most leaders say, I have no idea how to manage uncertainty and how to manage this pace of change. And if you can be the leader who knows how to do it, and I'm going to give you all of those tools based on years of research that I have done, then you are going to be the leader that is going to walk out the door with a plan and a strategy and a level of confidence that you've got this. And you're not only going to be in a better position to lead your employees, but employees that are leaving other organizations are going to come your way because they're going to want to work for a leader who understands how to do that. And if you are frontline personnel joining us, then you're going to walk out of there with the strategy as well. And it's just as effective to use it in your business as it is to work at dealing with a 2-year-old that you have no idea what is coming at you. What is coming at you? What is coming at you next? So
Right.
tell us. I put the registration link up here. Tell us who's welcome. Tell us how that works.
Um, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's welcome to
Everybody.
attend. And you have the registration link. And if you use code AH25 when you are registering, your registration will be $25 instead of 50. And I'm happy to have everybody use that code. My goal is to pack this room and have the most amount of people walking out going, this is the best 3 hours I have spent in a long time. And the amount of tools and tool sets that I have, they're practical, they're functional. I will be able to make this work.
Well, that's good because we share the same goal. I often say to people that I feel like I'm on a mission in life, and my mission in
Mhm,
life is to get people to understand that uncertainty always leads to opportunity if you have the right strategy behind it. And that's why I've really dedicated my career to figuring out and studying those who use constant disruption to create growth and a more peaceful lifestyle. And we're going to
mhm.
talk all of that and so much more. I do want to talk about the fact just before we wrap it up, and I know we're about at time, that so often that this can be thought about as a fluff subject. That it's
Mhm.
soft, and I want to address the fact that the money is made in the soft. Everybody can do the hard skills. But when the rubber meets the road, when the margins get skinny, when the bottom line gets competitive, how you increase is through inspiring and fully engaging a team. And everything about this marketplace is different. Everything about it. We are dealing with a higher pace of change. We are dealing with global uncertainty. I was with a client yesterday and we were talking about how much disruption could happen that's 100% out of their control. The
Yep.
one thing you can control in this environment is the level to which the people around you engage, they care, and they're committed. And if you attend us on with us on October 31st, you meet us at this event, you're going to walk out of there not only with a different mindset on uncertainty, but with a plan and a strategy to really, really make it happen.
I am confident of that, which is why I really dug in deep to make sure that this was what I was bringing to the community. And I'm so grateful to have you be our presenter. Your energy, your passion around this equals my passion around, people-centric activities and creating people who are healthy and happy on so many levels.
Oh, good. Well, we are excited. We will see you October 31st. The event location again, Hillary?
Hopkins Center for the Arts, downtown Hopkins, Minnesota.
All right, we will put the registration link in the notes. Follow Hillary on LinkedIn. Follow me. You'll see so much about this event. We want you to join us because we want you to get the tools, we want you to get the secrets, and we want you to get the strategies that you need to turn all of this uncertainty into your greatest competitive advantage. We'll see you October 31st, and together we're going to turn uncertainty into your greatest opportunity. We'll see you there.